Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Mason Greenwood will leave Manchester United. It's deal done time with Marseille. David Ornstein has just dropped a tweet saying Marseille have reached an agreement to sign Mason Greenwood. The deal will be in total 31.6 million, 27.6 million euros up front with 4 million euros in add-ons. So total agreement between Manchester United and Marseille. Mason Greenwood apparently has still got to give his approval on this, but considering Mason Greenwood has always wanted Marseille, this is deal done. And it's David Ornstein dropping it out. So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, look, we said it was going to be busy. My thoughts are very happy. First deal out of the club. You know, around 25 million pounds coming in. We've got a massive sell-on fee as well. So if he gets sold for 60 million in the future, we probably get another 30 million quid, which could happen if he does well at Marseille. As I've said before, this is not going to be a shock to people. This has happened. I mean, look, get in the comments. I'm sure there are people that are really devastated by this. We've had 2 years of this story. At times it's been a very horrible story, and at times it's been a very tiring story, and at times it's been a very frustrating story. And there has been people who've been saying, bring him back, bring him back. I'm just glad we're not going to have that anymore, because whilst he was a Man United player on loan, there was always that glimmer of hope for some people that United would suddenly say, yeah, he's coming back, which was never going to happen. It was never going to happen under a Glazer ownership, and it was certainly not going to happen under an Ineos ownership, because we all know what would have happened. We're not going to sweep it under the carpet. If Mason Greenwood would have come back, the media, certain sections of fan bases would have gone into overdrive. Whether that's right or wrong, that's life. It would have happened. And Man United obviously made their decision last summer that they've stood by. Mason Greenwood, look, is he coming back to the Premier League? No. There was talk of other Premier League clubs being interested. Where did that come from? And why is he not coming back to the Premier League? Apparently Lazio, there was interest from La Liga, but he wants to play for Marseille. So if there was a Premier League club interested and he wanted to come back to the Premier League, then would he have not done that? Or maybe Man United wouldn't have allowed that. I don't know. But the bottom line is Mason Greenwood is no longer a Manchester United player, and it's not our responsibility anymore. It's his responsibility to build his own future. There was one thing I wanted to say, which I think would be ridiculous not to say, which is there is a past before all what went on. And there was a time before all that where, I, on the United Stand, was, and I'm not going to make any apologies for it, on pure footballing ability, we were talking about a generational talent. We were talking about a very, very, very exciting player. And, I wouldn't say I'm sad it didn't work out, because, we've had plenty of players that get injured or don't fulfill their talent or look really good and then, don't put the work in. There's loads. And there's plenty at Manchester United. So to sit and say, oh, I'm sad that Mason Greenwood didn't work out at Manchester United is silly, because it's just the way it goes. But look, it would be remiss, like I say, to not acknowledge that there was a player there before all the things that went on that you looked at around 20 years of age and you went, what is he going to be by the time he's 22, 23, let alone, 25, 26? Not playing football for 18 months? I think it will have a setback. Everything that went on will have a setback. It looks like last year at Getafe, there's still a good player there. It'll be interesting to see what heights he can hit. I mean, playing for Getafe and Marseille, you're still going to be playing in the French league in a mid-table Spanish team. Can he get back to the Premier League? Can he get back to the very top of football? That's got to be his drive, motivation and concentration, and it'll be interesting to see if that happens. But I don't think Man United have done anything wrong in the way that they've handled it. I think that the external situations, whatever they thought, were going to be impactive. And I don't think it's the time for Mason Greenwood to even be thinking about coming back to England as well. I think he's got to focus on, rebuilding his career, and this will be a step towards that. Bringing it back to Manchester United. Look, before I do that, what do I think Mason Greenwood will end up being? Honest answer is I don't know. Could he ever be that player I thought he was going to be now? Who knows? The history is littered with footballers that, hit certain levels. What level Mason Greenwood can hit, I don't know. You don't know what damage that couple of years did not playing football. You don't know, and you don't know what good it did. You just don't know. But from a Manchester United point of view, I think it's the end of a chapter that they'll be happy to close the book on. And, you know, they've had a duty of care, as I've always said to Mason Greenwood. People don't like that, but he's still an employee of Manchester United until he's sold. And you do have a duty of care. And I think they'll be quite happy in a business sense how this has panned out, because loaning him off to Getafe, getting that value up to around £25 million, achieving that value, and then also achieving a good sell-on clause isn't bad when you look at where the situation was and could have been. So I think all round there will be an acceptance that it's the right thing, and all round there will be a feeling of, you know, relief that it's now been sorted out. As I said, 31.6 million euros is the deal, which is about £27 million. Up front, it will be 27 million euros, which is about 24 million. So we're going to end up with about 27 million pounds. And then if he ever gets sold by Marseille, we'll probably get 50% of that as well. So look, it's not the 40 I thought we could get, but when you're not selling into the Premier League market, then you are going to get reduced fees, aren't you? And I think that is where we're at. I'm sure the comments are going to be very interesting. You know, try and respect each other. There will be people very, very happy that this is resolved. There'll be people, you know, pissed off because they like the player. It's all about different opinions. But where I am is relief that it's sorted, really. I think it's nothing like Sancho, actually. That's not fair to say that. But that, you know, when I talk about the transfer window over the last few years at Man United, there's two words: ruthlessness and aggressiveness. I think we're being aggressive in the transfer window, putting bids in for Yoro, putting bids in for Branthwaite, but maybe knowing that those deals won't happen, but showing our cards and trying to get them done. I think we're being aggressive trying to get De Ligt and Xerxes. We're aggressive in the transfer market, but I think we've also got to be ruthless as well. And ruthless will mean getting deals like Greenwood done, because it's an issue we've got to resolve, and we can't just keep sweeping it under the carpet and loaning. Donny van de Beek, just getting it done, taking the hit and getting it done instead of sending him on loan and kicking the problem down the road. Jadon Sancho obviously next. I think there's a few players that we need to sell. Wan-Bissaka, maybe Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay. We need to just be ruthless and clear out, because it would be great to be in a situation at some point over the next year where we're not talking about next summer transfer window and clearing out the deadwood. It would be great to be in that situation. Just my thoughts on Yoro, by the way. I think what Man United have done there on reflection is Real Madrid do not want to pay what we have offered. So I think what's happened there on reflection is that Man United have offered a lot more than Real Madrid are willing to pay. Real Madrid will say, we want you, and we're not paying that money, so wait a year and come for free. And it just puts it on the toes of Yoro. Do you want to wait at Lille for another year, or do you want to come to Man United and play? And I just think we're chancing our arm. I still think Real Madrid will probably win, but Real Madrid don't want to pay what we're going to pay. So there is a gap there where you can sort of say to Yoro, look, we want you now. Real Madrid want you, but they're telling you to wait and they won't pay what you're worth. You know, who really wants you then? You know, is it just another asset for Real Madrid to collect, or do you want to come to Manchester United and actually play? And in the future, if you want to go to Real Madrid, you can do anyway. I think that's maybe what we're looking to do there. Get your comments in below. I'm live on That's Football for France, Spain, but we probably will be doing another live show around 10:30 tonight because there's so much going on. But Mason Greenwood, deal done with Marseille, and expect the Fabrizio, here we go, any moment. But, you know, when David Ornstein says that we've agreed a deal with Marseille, then there we go. You know, that was the final piece in the puzzle. We know that Greenwood wanted to go there. Take care, everyone. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.